I heard this moment of brilliance at an open mic, just some random I forgot who, but it said self-pity is the most dangerous drug.
Ooh.
Well, I think that might have been me.
Maybe it might have been you, but
Might have been me.
it sounds like a very Brian Simpson thing. But self-pity is a dangerous drug.
It's addictive.
Oh man, feeling bad about yourself feels so good.
It does. It can. Welcome back to BS with Brian Simpson, episode 46. I have a special guest, longtime friend, fellow comedian, on the rise, Ehsan Ahmad. What's up, Ehsan?
Hey, thanks for having me, Brian.
Good. Before we get into anything, we have to give a quick shout out to Revolutionary Hot Sauce. They're not necessarily a sponsor of the podcast, but they have been sending me hot sauce for quite some time now. And this last time, they really did it. And we were watching the game, and we laid out all the sauces and had like plain wings and was like dipping them in each one. And this dude knows what he's doing. I'm going to collaborate with him shortly. Right now, we just in the negotiations about it. But yeah, Revolutionary Hot Sauce. Go check them out.
Yeah, it was really good. We had them.
It was really good. I should have brought a bottle.
Yeah.
I'm so unprofessional.
We had them all on a plate, and there was a dab of hot sauce on each thing, and it looked like an artist easel. That's what it looked like.
It was good.
It was great.
I mean, this dude, he's so good. Because the other, I've had plenty of like, what they call them, small batch hot sauce. Mm-hmm. And some people don't know what they're doing, and this dude does. That's just as simple as that. It's like there's the flavor. It's not just there to burn the fuck out of you. The flavor is there. That's what matters.
Right. It was all about the flavor, and then the hot would come in as a kick later, and it would be like a kind of surprise. I'm like, oh yeah, it tasted good, and it was hot.
But you know what's funny is, so he sent us about like 9 bottles?
Yes.
9 different flavors, and they're on the back. There's flames from 1 to 5 to show you how hot the hot sauce can be. Because most people don't understand Scoville levels, but none of them were 5s.
No, we didn't get a 5.
I'm curious what the 5 is because I couldn't handle the 4.
The 4 was a lot. The 3 was perfect. At least to me, it was. You got the flavor and the hot, and it was like a perfect balance.
Yeah, the 4. And don't get me wrong, the 4s were good, but it was the burn was strong with it.
Mm-hmm. I do want to try a 5 though.
I want to try a 5.
Just to try one.
I do. I might make mine a 5.
Really?
I might. I don't know.
Is that who you are as a person? Are you a 5 spicy?
I'm not a 5 spicy, but I am I want to do different. I want to be different.
Okay.
I want to, because he's also collabed with the Scissor Brothers. Mm-hmm. So Jeremiah and Stevie. Yeah. So, and I don't know what their sauce is, but I want my sauce to be hotter than their sauce.
Okay. I think that's fair. You want to be hotter than the Scissor Brothers.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
I think hot sauce is too hot these days, guys. I'm a big hot sauce fan, and I think it's too hot because there's a point where it gets so hot that you can't even taste flavor.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, it's just like it's because you got to understand the same nerds that went to school and learned how to get the most THC out of a weed plant. Those same people are growing peppers. Like the pepper war is escalating. People are like crossbreeding peppers and shit. Like it's getting out of control, and people go to the hospital all the time. Like, yeah.
It can hurt you, man.
Chip challenges.
Yeah, you get hurt. That shit can damage your esophagus.
Yeah, I that's why I like what I enjoy about these hot sauces more. It definitely felt like flavor first, hot second, which is not what you're getting a lot of the time.
Right. Because some people, it's like a bragging rights thing.
Right.
They're like, you're going to catch a motherfucker in 2 years, you're going to be seeing them with one of those little things to their throat. I had the best meal of my life. That's fucked up. But.
I don't know. It's just like I totally get the people who crossbreed different peppers and stuff. But nowadays, a lot of the hot sauce is they just take like capsaicin that has been extracted from peppers, and then now you just have pure, like you have the whatever the maximum Scoville is, and they have to dilute that with
peaches.
yeah. They have to. They just end up diluting it with vinegar or something. I don't know.
Just take a tear gas grenade and crack it open and pour it into their chili.
Right.
So stupid. I want to get because some people don't realize that we were recording 2 weeks ahead because we had we had stuff to do, and so the emails are backed up.
Ooh.
Do you want to get
Some
into
good
emails
ones.
first?
Yeah,
It's some good.
emails.
It's some good ones. But before we even get to that, what was the shit you sent me today? Because I thought that was in the email box, but I love when Rob sends me something and follows it up with his emotions on the matter. I'm always entertained because when he's like this. So Rob texted me this, and what made me read it was the. He texted me a screenshot, and the text underneath it said, "Murder should be legal in this case."
Okay.
That's not an uncommon reaction that I have to certain types of news stories.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this made my blood boil. So this guy, I'm guessing this is from a subreddit of some kind?
Yeah.
Okay, so the guy says, seeking advice.
Okay.
I'm currently the head tenant of a 5-bedroom house in the inner west. I don't know what that means.
That's a neighborhood in Sydney, Australia.
Okay. So this is an Australian. Okay, so you know this is a trash person. I sublet to 4 others and have done so for 2 years. So if y'all not familiar in the other parts of the world, sublet means that I am leasing a room or property, and I then lease it to another person.
Right.
So this guy is renting an apartment, and he is the only person on the lease. Maybe he had roommates move out, whatever, and he's renting the other rooms to other people that are not on the lease. They're paying him. Okay, that's the situation. So the lease is coming up for renewal, and the other tenants wish to all sign in, which is what you would want to do. You want to be on the lease so that you have legal rights, so people can't kick you out and all of that other shit. The issue is I have not been very transparent about the relative rental contributions, and my rent is actually entirely covered by them.
Oh.
How do I go about navigating this situation? So, again, understand his situation. Where he's in is he's been charging his roommates so much money that it pays his rent. But now that the lease is coming up and they all get to sign it and see how much the rent is, they're going to realize what he's been doing. And he's asking for advice on how to get out of it. You piece of shit.
Yeah, that's a bad move.
Yeah. Now, if you asking me what lie I would tell, I don't know. I don't know how you get out of that.
No, you got to find a new place, set up there, and never talk to these people again.
Yeah. Or you got to just be one of those people that you got to, because the lie would have to be so elaborate.
Mm-hmm.
And in depth. Like, you would have to be gaslighting these people for months, which I know is within you because you're a piece of shit. You've been doing this already. But you would have to, like, I don't know, man. You would have to, make a leak or something and keep telling your roommates how you're complaining about it. And then the resolution is that you got them to lower the rent.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's too late probably because this is old.
Yeah, just release mice into the house.
Oh, this isn't that old. Yeah, or something,
Right.
but damn, just you got to move out, bro. I mean, at the end of the day, like, because you don't have it in you. Because here's the thing. This goes back to my theory of how most of the people that are smart enough to actually get away with crimes are smart enough to not do them, right? Because they're also smart enough to know that their chances of getting away are slim and that the risk reward. And it's like all the people that's locked the fuck up, not all of them, because there's some geniuses in prison. But for the most part, the people that are all locked the fuck up, they're just smart enough to outsmart themselves. They're just smart enough to think they can outsmart everybody else. And when you have that kind of arrogance and your intelligence is right below the bar, you end up in a lot of situations where you're doing some stupid shit and don't realize it. And you're one of those people. I mean, this isn't a crime, what you've done. I'm actually, you know what? I mean, I don't know how they do in Australia, but there's a slight case for fraud here. Fraud meaning you're getting money out of these people under false pretenses.
And if you're at the point where you're asking Reddit for help, you're definitely screwed.
Yeah, and also, my guy, why don't you take your year's worth of savings from not paying rent
and buy
a nice place?
Yeah.
See, you started this crime without a goal. That's your other fucking problem.
Well, the goal was met really easily, and he never dreamed further.
Yeah, because I'm more upset with you for being a stupid piece of shit than the fact that I am that you're a piece of shit.
Right. Yeah, you could have used this and be like, oh well, I got my loans. I'm buying a place. Like you should have had the out. The out should have been built in right now.
Listen, guys, you can't be on demon time part-time. All right? You gotta if you're gonna be an evil son of a bitch, you gotta go all the way in. You should have had a plan for this moment.
Right.
You know, you were well aware when you started fleecing your roommates that this moment would come, and you waited to the last minute and then you asked Reddit? You fucking stupid cunt.
Why can't you just kick them out if they're not on the lease?
Well, again, I'm not familiar with how the law works in Australia, but I know here, you know, once somebody's been receiving mail and all of that for X amount of days, they still have rights. You know, like you can't just because they're not on the lease, you can't just kick them out. You know, what I mean? You would actually what you would have to do is evict them, which could take, you know, so long, and you would have to have cause.
And then they would find out either way that you've been overcharged.
They would find out either way, and then so if you try to go to the court, then they're gonna be like, this motherfucker's been committing fraud. So, yeah, you stupid cunt, you deserve whatever happens. Okay, emails to us.
Hey, Sam, before we get to emails, can you throw out your socials just so people who are listening to the audio can?
Facts. Yeah. So again, I am BS Comedian on Instagram and Twitter, and I am Brian Simpson Comedy on TikTok. You can go to briansimpsoncomedy.com for tickets to dates. I will be in Huntsville, Alabama, and Nashville, Tennessee this weekend. Huntsville on Friday and Saturday, Nashville on Sunday. You can go to briansimpsoncomedy.com for tickets. Anything you need to plug, Ehsan?
No, yeah. Just follow me on Instagram at Ehsan J. Ahmad. That's EHSANJAHMAD. That's where I do most of my stuff. I've got a couple series on Instagram. You can come and follow Breaking News and Special Report.
Yeah, Breaking News is great. Oh, yeah, those are both great. Breaking News and Special Report. Yeah, Jared's in town now, right?
Jared's in town now.
Special reports with him this week?
Yes, we're filming some man on the street bits, so that should be coming soon.
That's gonna be great. What is this?
I think that's someone trying to book you for a show.
Oh yeah, please don't do that, guys. Don't for business stuff, don't email the podcast. Oh, you know what? That is not the podcast email. That is the regular email. Okay. Okay, conspiracy theorists. Oh, wow. Here we go. Mm-hmm. Hey, Brian and Rob, I have a friend who is a conspiracy theorist. Not the fun kind who can smoke weed and have a few laughs with, the kind everyone avoids talking to at a party. I recently reposted a clip from the show where you say, if you think about space too much, you won't want to live life. This prompted my friend to knock on my DMs like a Jehovah's Witness of stupidity.
This guy's a writer.
Yeah, spouting a bunch of pseudoscience nonsense. He legitimately believes the Earth is flat. Well, that's where you lose me right there. Satellites aren't real, and space is an illusion. Well, dude, stop being friends with this person. I'm gonna finish your email, but But without me knowing any more, come on, man, come on. This guy he's making you dumber. You're stupid for being friends with this stupid motherfucker. Did he give you a kidney or something? Is this like somebody you've known your whole life? Why are you friends with this guy? I explained multiple times during the conversation that I have no desire to speak with him about anything spiritual or scientific, but that's everything.
Right. So you can't. Yeah, I've resigned to not having any deeper conversations with this guy, and our conversations will be surface level anyway. So why be friends?
Your whole friendship is how's the weather?
Yeah. It's crazy today, isn't it?
Yeah, spiritual scientific, as he is unable to understand simple concepts or be objective. He defaulted to the conspiracy theorist playbook, accusing me of projecting and being a sheep. Look, man, you have no desire to speak with him about anything spiritual scientific. He's unable to understand simple concepts or be objective. No, this is crazy. This sounds like you're married to a milkmaid from like the 1800s.
Well,
but you don't get to fuck this guy.
My read is that this is like a really good friend of his, like he's known forever, and he wants to find some way to reach him. And I think he just has to cut loose.
No, you got to let it go.
I think you just got to cut loose.
Finish reading the email.
Yeah, he defaulted to the conspiracy theorist playbook, accusing me of projecting and being a sheep. I eventually had to block him. Okay. Do you have anyone in your life who is so powerfully stupid you can't talk to them? How do you deal with these people? Big fan of your comedy and the podcast. No, I do not.
Right, you just stop dealing with them.
There is no one in my life that's stupid because and not that there's never been. but I grew up and I was like, I don't have room for that. Maybe that's what it is. It's like, and there are people I've lost good friends just because listen, I don't require my friends to believe everything I believe. In fact, we argue all the time.
Constantly.
Me, Ehsan, and Derek, we argue. Sometimes we just argue for the sport of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I don't even believe the shit I'm saying. We just argue because it keeps our analytical mind, which is good for comedy. It keeps it sharp. It's like a cipher for comics.
And trying to find positions to defend yourself.
In BJJ or something like that.
Yeah. But if I really thought that they were stupid, like, because here's the other thing too. I don't have any close friends that I haven't seen change their mind.
That's the big thing. The inability to take in new information and process that is like, if you can't do that, you're a bad adult.
Yeah, because sometimes it's like the shit get in the heat of the moment, and you find, because we need a word for when you have when you've said something that you don't really want to defend, but your ego's been hurt. And so you're defending it, and like you're so far into the defense of it that you can't back off.
Yeah, you're pot committed.
Yeah, even though you don't really care. You know what I mean? And we need a word for that because I've been in those situations. But somebody that's actually dumb, because these three things. What did you say? He's a
flat Earth.
He's a flat earther. He thinks satellites aren't real, and he thinks space isn't real.
Well, so my question is, like, to always with people like that, right? Is like, okay, so let's say 100% like those things were right. Like, let's play the mind game of the Earth is flat and satellites aren't real and space is an illusion. Well, then how does that affect your life at all?
But also, my guy,
right? Like you still go on and you still keep living. So it's like, why bring it up at every party, even if it is real? Who cares?
If space isn't real, then where is the flat Earth? I don't have time for these people, man. I swear to God.
Have you ever known anybody, either of you, who is like an actual legit flat Earth conspiracy theorist?
Oh yeah. I know comedians that are flat earthers.
Yeah, they just like fully believe that the Earth is flat. But like I said,
wild.
what purpose does it serve?
But you know what?
I think it gives people a sense of control over an absurd, chaotic universe that we live in.
It gives them a sense of, because most conspiracy theorists have this air of like, I know more than everyone else. Like I'm in the end, and y'all are sheep, and y'all are followers, and I'm not. I'm a rebel.
My problem with most conspiracy theories, at the end of the day, they really boil down to like, oh, the government is lying to you, and it's like, you didn't learn that when you were like 12.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
The government does lie, but conspiracy theorists don't stop at the government is lying, because that wouldn't be so bad.
No, well,
but they go so far as to go, not only is the government lying, but anything to the contrary, I'll believe that.
Right. Well, that's what I think. I think it's people who learned that the government was lying to them a little too late in life. Right. Whereas, like, they didn't realize, like, no, that's just the normal part of everyday living, is that the government's just kind of lying to you all the time, but it's not that deep. They just lie.
Yeah.
It's not like they lie because they're lizard people who are here to, like the lizard one is so funny, because, like, if you think there was this race of, shape-shifting billionaire lizards, why would we need to see one in the form of Hillary Clinton? Like, the lizard enough would be enough to be like, well, I guess you own me because you're a billionaire lizard who knows magic.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But here's the other thing, too. Rob, remember
Also, before you get into it, if you were a shape-changing space lizard, why would the form that you choose be Hillary Clinton and Prince Charles?
Right.
That makes no
Yeah.
fucking sense to me.
People that nobody likes.
Right. I mean, if you could choose the form you appeared in, why wouldn't you have a fat ass and big titties?
Right. Yeah, if now the conspiracy theory was like, yo, all Instagram models are lizards, I'd be like, you're onto something.
Yeah, there might
That's
be
more
something.
believable.
That's way more believable.
Oh yeah.
But Brian, I interrupted you. You were going to say something else.
Remember some episodes back, we did an article about like conspiratorial thinking and how it's more sinister than just you believing some bullshit. But what it is the more things you believe without evidence, you slowly change the process in your brain that is discernment. And so
Yeah.
the more you believe stuff without evidence, the easier it is for you to believe stuff without evidence.
Right.
Which is why most of the conspiracy theorists, they all believe the same stuff.
Right.
They don't just buy into one thing. They buy into them all because it's so much easier to bullshit a person that has succumbed to bullshit. So it's
Right.
like you have to be. It's a fight. You have to fight to be discerning because it's easy to believe some crazy shit.
And the whole point is like delegitimizing regular. Like one of the big things they're trying to do now is like, oh, Wikipedia, you can't trust Wikipedia. That's what they use to control you. And it's like, I really wonder if back in the day that's what if in front of the Library of Alexandria or whatever, like, which is what I think is sort of what Wikipedia is now. It's our like knowledge base. If in front of the Library of Alexandria there are people out there like, no, they're lying to you in there. None of that is real.
I have to assume that for the entirety of human civilization and society, there have been people who are conspiracy theorists who, like Brian says, it's fine and actually a good thing. It's a virtuous thing to be skeptical of the information you get, especially from institutions and other people who have a vested interest in manipulating or manufacturing consent, right? But
Oh yeah.
it goes to another place when you start picking out connections that don't exist in order to validate your beliefs about the world, because that's really what conspiracy theorists are doing, right? That's why they can believe in conspiracies that are contradictory to one another. Like when they test people to see what conspiracy theories they believe in, if you believe that the CIA killed JFK, you are more likely to believe that JFK is still alive. That makes no goddamn sense.
Right. And
That's a mindfuck.
And that's the thing. There are legitimate conspiracy. Like the JFK thing is wild because you know what? Because it could be. You know what? Aliens killed JFK. I don't know. Because every president since Bush.
Yeah, has had access to that information and has kept that quiet.
Well, no,
They kicked that can down the road.
Yeah, when it was supposed to all be released, they all said nope. And then it was Obama, and we were like, well, surely him, nope. And then it was Trump, and we were like, oh, the swamp drainer, nope. And now it's Biden again, no. Well, they will. And to me, that tells me there's something else that they don't want us to know.
That's so deeply ingrained to how we think everything works that if we knew that information, it would break down order.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that there hasn't been like a whistleblower.
I also think that there's a distinction to be made between like there are some conspiracy theories, like the Libra conspiracy theory about
what is that?
That's a JFK conspiracy theory where the belief is that I mean it's kind of funny.
Everyone involved is a Libra?
Yeah. Oh, he got
No,
his head
no.
blown off? Such a
I'm trying to
Libra.
remember why- I'm trying to remember why it's called Libra conspiracy. I think that's the name of some sort of CIA program that really did exist, and the idea was that Lee Harvey Oswald was part of it, and that he did work for the CIA, but that the intent was not for him to pull off the shot. That the idea was that it was like a false flag. It was supposed to be a false flag that Lee Harvey Oswald was supposed to fire and try to assassinate JFK, but he would miss because the shot was so difficult. And then the CIA could use that as justification to invade Cuba because Lee Harvey Oswald had connections to Cuba. We know that he really did have connections to Cuba.
This is so heavy. I would rather believe that Instagram models are lizards.
I'm 100% that's true.
That's so heavy.
I'm gonna put that out there right now. I think they're all lizards.
Speaking of aliens with fat asses, one of our top articles today is the headline is "Buccal fat removal is the latest cosmetic procedure to trend on social media."
Okay.
What does that mean? Here's what it is.
Buccal fat. Buccal fat is in
Oh,
your
buccal
cheeks.
fat. Buccal fat. Is that fat from the ass?
From the cheeks.
Let's see. These days, you can never really guess what kinds of unusual beauty topics will start to trend on social media and why. Since 2020, all kinds of trendy cosmetic and plastic surgery procedures have been at the center of discourse on the apps. The Brazilian butt lift and the potential dangers associated with it has been hotly debated since becoming one of the most sought-after surgeries in 2019 and 2020. The minimally invasive lip flip slowly took over TikTok in early 2022. What the fuck is that? And now the most recent procedure to have its moment in the spotlight is buccal fat removal. So wait a minute, what is a lip flip?
I don't know what any of these are.
I
I know the Brazilian butt lift. That's the only one I really know.
Lip flip is they inject a small amount of Botox into, I believe, like the little notch,
Little divot.
The divot, yeah.
the little divot, and it like lifts up your lips, so it kind of gives you like a Cupid's bow shape to your lip. You know what I'm saying?
It's to give white women bigger lips.
That's so stupid. Because here's the thing. I know several. Obviously from being in Hollywood and all this, we have several. I have several female friends in the business, and it's always wild to me to watch. When the insecurities set in and they start getting the surgeries. Mm-hmm. So they can stay young looking, and I'm not gonna say it never works, but it almost always goes too far.
Yeah.
Especially the lip thing.
The lip fillers almost never age well.
Well, it's not because the thing is you have to keep getting them done because they I don't know what happens to them, but you have to get them redone. But here's what a lot of white women don't realize is when you get that shit injected into your lips, especially when you got little tiny lips, what makes your lips look natural is the wrinkles on your lips. Mm-hmm. But when they inject that shit in your lips, the wrinkles aren't there. It's like shiny and smooth, and it look like you got stung by a bee on the lips.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It doesn't look. You don't look like you don't look like Kim Kardashian. You look like you've been hurt. So it doesn't make. Maybe it makes you feel better, and I can't speak to that. But trust me, it don't. I've known very few people that have gotten plastic surgery, and it makes them look better.
Right.
It makes them feel better, but rarely does it make you. And I mean, cosmetic plastic surgery. Obviously, people that like need it for damage is different, but
right.
But the cosmetic plastic surgery is often unnecessary, and it doesn't look better.
No, it definitely doesn't.
But let's move on.
Right. I think white ladies, you just have to accept it goes downhill.
Yeah, and it's not just them.
You just have to accept. It's not.
Lately,
but I'm talking to you, white ladies.
Yeah, he's talking directly. Yeah, we're talking to you.
I'm talking directly to you. It's okay.
Would y'all ever get cosmetic surgery?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I've had opportunities for people ask me if I want to get hair transplants, and I've said no.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, don't do that.
No, I look at my parents. My parents have aged pretty gracefully, and it's like I think that's the best route.
Yeah, but my family, we age pretty well.
But it's also different for guys, right? Like aging. The aging process for guys and what we go through mentally is very different than women. Like I feel like I am starting to look my best in my 30s.
Yeah,
which is like more of a guy thing.
Men, our insecurities with aging comes from. Strength and endurance,
right,
and erections.
Yes.
Right.
That's
and hairline. But if you can get over that pretty quickly, that's the big.
Oh
that's
yeah,
a big
hair
one.
loss. See, that's something I've never had to worry about. But I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it. Like but very rarely does it require plastic surgery. But again, a lot of men in Hollywood get a lot of plastic surgery.
Yes.
Like I would love to see Mario Lopez with a freshly washed face. He probably look like the fucking like the Saw villain.
No, but it's like so Jared Leto is another good example of it almost feels demonic. Like you should not look like that at 50. That's crazy.
Right.
Yeah. But you know
what?
He
Makes me not trust you.
He might just look like that. You think he's had plastic surgery? I'm
yeah,
sure
definitely.
They all.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
For sure.
Every man in Hollywood has had plastic surgery.
He looks like he's in his 20s and he's 50. That's gross. It's weird. Well, it's off-putting.
Every man that's that's had a big career, they've all done it. Yeah, for sure.
All the A-listers, absolutely.
Yeah.
But the A-listers get the one that looks good. Like you got to be like that rich to get the one that looks good.
Yeah, but even some of them, they should be looking wild.
Yeah.
Remember Mickey Rourke?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I think there's a difference between because my mom's had plastic surgery and she's like public about it and everything, and like my wife has gotten Botox in her the 11s up here in her forehead to get it. And so I think that I mean that's not really surgery, but it's in the same cosmetic procedure, right? And I think that there can be some benefit to sort of like slowing down the aging process, if you're like doing a little bit here and there. I think the problem comes when people try to alter what their face looks like. Like if you have thin lips and you try to get big lips, that's when it looks bad, right? If you're getting a little crow's feet and you want to just do a little thing to kind of slow that down, that that can work. People can do that.
Some people go overboard.
Right.
Like they
Yeah,
go they
yeah,
go
some
to
people
buy
go too far,
titties
for
and they go get triple D's or whatever. It's like
Yeah.
that looks wild. Whatever.
But at the end of the day, it's like if it makes you feel happy, it makes you feel happy, right? Like that's what it comes down
Yeah,
to.
if it makes you feel
Your money, your face.
I guess, but I don't have to pretend like it looks good.
No.
All right, but I might get this buckle shit. I still don't know what it is. Lately, social media has been buzzing with photos of a handful of celebrities with seemingly slimmer faces and more chiseled jawlines. Many people have assumed, without confirmation, that these changes are the result of buccal fat removal, a procedure in which fat in the cheeks and jaw area is removed to give the face a more contoured appearance, which is likely why you've been seeing the term all over your timeline. If this has only made you more curious about what buccal fat is, why someone would want it removed, and why the heck everyone is talking about it, we reached out to a few experts to clear things up. What is buccal fat anyway? In short, buccal fat is just the fat that lies between your cheekbone and your jawbone. Okay. What happens during a buccal fat removal? That's obvious. What is the recovery time? After your removal procedure, your surgeon should give you an oral rinse to prevent infection, though you might also be prescribed antibiotics to further minimize your risk. Additionally, they do it from in your mouth. Wow.
Oof.
You'll likely experience bruising, swelling, and discomfort in your cheeks for up to 2 weeks after the surgery. A liquid diet is recommended for a few days. Man, are there any risks associated? Okay, as stated,
Hell yeah.
this surgery could temporarily or permanently injure some of the nerves that control your face. I'm out right there.
Yeah.
And salivary duct, could permanently injure some of the nerves that control your face and salivary duct if performed incorrectly. As with any surgery, you should also do your research to ensure that your surgeon doesn't remove too much fat and make your face look like too gaunt. Yeah, you can be out here looking like who's the nigga that played Green Goblin?
Willem Dafoe.
You
With
can
Dafoe.
be out here looking like Willem Dafoe out here. since it goes not regrow.
That's a typo thing. Since it does not regrow.
Oh, since it does not regrow.
Well, that's already a big red flag. If the information has typo on it, that means it's like, you know what I mean? This is a little shady.
This person might have just had their buckle surgery.
Yeah.
There's a risk of removing too much fat and creating excessive hollowing. So once the fat's gone, it can't come back. Although that may be what some younger patients are looking for. This can have major implications as they age. No bullshit.
Right.
Wow.
There's going to be a bunch of people, like, as this becomes more and more trendy and people are looking for cheaper and cheaper ways to do it, there's going to be a bunch of people who die from this because it's like, once you get an infection up there, that's dangerous.
That's tough.
That's so close to your brain. That's what stuck out to me is like, if you get this done, you got to get it done from a high-end person who knows what they're doing. Any sort of oral surgery, any sort of thing up there is highly dangerous.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
A lot of surgeons are not doing this anymore because it's become so popular.
Absolutely. It's just the risk for reward is insane. Just so you look like you have a better jawline, eat better.
The old school one that they used to do, like in Hollywood, like in the 1960s and stuff, was they would remove your molars for the same effect.
Remove your molars?
People would get their molars yanked out because it
Man.
creates the same hollowing.
Beauty is pain. Who said that? That's somebody.
Was that Chanel?
Was that Mr. Meeseeks?
That sounds like a Meeseeks
No,
thing.
he said existence is pain
Existence
for
is pain,
Meeseeks.
yeah.
Okay. So, man, so much I hope this next email is not so heavy. What's up, Brian and Rob? Love the podcast and being optimistic nihilist with y'all. Wait a minute, is that what we are?
Yeah, that's it. I wouldn't say we're nihilist, would we?
An optimistic nihilist. Okay, I'll take that.
That does sound like a compliment, though.
I just listened to a true crime podcast on the Tylenol murders about the dude who put the cyanide in Tylenol pills in Chicago during the 80s. It's literally the ultimate story of revenge. Y'all should definitely tap into the backstory. P.S. Brian, when you gonna do a Detroit or Indy? Okay. Well, that doesn't leave me much to go on because I know
there's a link in Trello to an article that I pulled up about the Tylenol murders that talks about the revenge aspect. Very bottom of the
okay. Well, let's get into that. I love me some revenge. Okay.
Is it like we're about to find out, but is it like some Tylenol employee that's like, screw you guys? Is that the energy?
We're about to find that. Okay, so
I remember reading about this in a book in like 3rd grade about like most unsolved murders.
So
that's why it's because of the Tylenol murders that most medicine bottles have cotton in it, right? So if that's not there, you know it's been tampered with.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it's the sealed, right? Like because they used to have the cotton in it, but it used to
right.
just be like you just twist it off.
No, I think
And
the cotton is for moisture.
Oh, okay.
the moisture
So
doesn't-
the
Yeah,
seal.
yeah, it's
I know
the
it changed
seal.
how things are packaged for sure.
Early, so here, this is the Tylenol Murders. A look back at the rash of 1982 drugstore poisonings. Okay, let's do that. That's the year I was born. Ooh, maybe he was after me.
Spooky.
Early on the morning of September 29th, 1982, a 12-year-old girl, Melly Kellerman, came down with a sore throat and a runny nose, and her parents gave her one extra string Tylenol. Hours later, she was dead.
Oof.
Over the next several days, 6 more people in the Chicago area died suddenly after taking the then best-selling non-prescription pain reliever. Investigators soon realized that each victim had swallowed a tablet laced with a lethal dose of cyanide. The pill manufacturer Johnson & Johnson determined that the bottles had been tampered with after leaving the factory. Someone had taken the bottles off the shelves at several drugstores, added poison to the capsules, and then put them back, with unwitting customers purchasing the deadly concoctions. I'm surprised nobody thought of that beforehand. Thursday marked the 40th anniversary of this. In this picture, I see her putting Tylenol, but I also see Anacin on the shelf, which I've never heard of. Thursday marked the 40th anniversary of Kellerman's death, and the still unsolved murders that panicked the country and transformed the way over-the-counter medications are packaged. Oh, they haven't caught the motherfucker?
No, they never caught
A
him.
Massachusetts man, James Lewis, claimed he was the Tylenol killer in a 1982 ransom letter to Johnson & Johnson demanding $1 million in exchange for stopping the drugstore contamination. But authorities determined that Lewis wasn't in the Chicago area at the time. He was convicted of extortion and served 13 years in prison. Some investigators still believe Lewis was behind the murders, which he has repeatedly denied. Okay, so he said he was, and then he didn't when he needed the money. Okay.
Right.
A new report but maybe 13 years in prison to make you be like, I ain't trying to go to prison for that shit. A new report from the Chicago Tribune says that 3 Chicago police detectives still believe that an old suspect, amateur chemist Roger Arnold, is the Tylenol killer. A bar owner, Marty Sinclair, tipped off authorities after the cyanide death, saying that Arnold had become erratic after his marriage had crumbled and that he had been known to keep the poison in his home. He just struck me as being real resentful of his lot in life, said retired Chicago detective Jimmy Gildia, who interviewed Arnold at the time. I think he was kind of a broken little man, really. All right? What does that have to do with revenge?
Yeah, that's
Authorities
You'll
amassed
get
a mountain of circumstantial evidence, including Arnold's admissions that he wanted to poison people and connections to the drugstores that sold the tainted pills, but there wasn't enough for an arrest. The FBI wasn't on board, according to the newspaper, and when the ransom letter came in, the agency switched gears and focused on Lewis. After the spotlight dimmed on Arnold, he shifted his attention to revenge. He learned from a police report that Sinclair had ratted him out for having cyanide. Wait a minute, so who was Sinclair?
the bar owner that ratted him out.
One night, he spotted a man he believed was his nemesis outside a local watering hole and shot him in the heart.
Whoa.
But it was a case of mistaken identity. Damn, how you gonna kill the wrong person?
Yeah, you gotta
This
get it right.
This ain't see. I'm with a well-planned revenge. There's no reason for you to kill a completely innocent person if you get revenge.
Yeah, you have to be sure about that.
Also, someone telling the FBI that you have cyanide isn't really. That's not riling me up on your behalf. I feel like you're just a piece of shit. He killed a stranger who happened to look like Sinclair. At trial, he was convicted of murder and served 15 years in prison.
Wow, he served the exact same amount as the guy who wrote a fake ransom letter
No, I think that
for
guy got,
shooting someone in the heart.
no, I think that guy got 13 years.
Oh, so he served. I mean, but that's
Yeah.
pretty much the same. That's
Yeah.
for the 2-year difference.
Yeah.
Nearly a decade after his release, he died of natural causes in 2008. The murder spurred medication manufacturers to introduce tamper-resistant bottles with foil seals and other features that make it easy for consumers to tell whether a container has been altered. In 1999, the FDA created federal guidelines that forced all manufacturers to make over-the-counter medications tamper-resistant. Okay, wow. That's a lot.
This is a revenge on wrong. This is a bad revenge taking.
Yeah. I can't support that.
Right. Revenge has to be very. It has to be very like you got to get the right person, and it's got to be like. I remember, was it Kane Velasquez recently that went to jail for like shooting at the guy who like apparently like molested his nephew.
Oh, right.
Which is like, look, I'm not like if a man does that to your family and you do that, I don't have a problem with it. My problem with it is that he was shooting at him in a bunch of car with a bunch of other people who were innocent, and it's like you can't do that. Like it's
Right.
gotta if you want to get revenge, you gotta be like specific and like because I think he hit someone who didn't molest his nephew.
No, he hit the guy's father.
Right.
And
You can't do that.
I think he killed the guy's father.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can't do
he
that.
did.
Yeah, but some people are like, well, you shouldn't have been gallivanting with molesters. And it's like, well, he was accused of it.
He was accused of it,
He
and
wasn't
that's
convicted of it.
that's his son. You know, you can't expect someone to not love their child,
Or
and no matter how fucked up they are,
or
they
even if
will.
you don't even know if the father even know what was going on. Some
Right,
people lie to
right.
their parents, or they take advantage of the fact that their parents,
will love them unconditionally. And,
right? And they
yeah.
like, so it's like, but is the father, I don't know. I don't know how in depth the father was, but I know a lot of people are like whining like free Kane Velasquez. And it's like, no, he's guilty of what they locked him up for.
Right.
Like if he had just killed that guy,
I'd been like free him. Fuck it.
well,
And
I
he
mean,
did it.
or at least I wouldn't have a problem with it. But
Right.
but even then, it's like, I get where he was coming from, but now you don't ruin your life.
Right. You
'Cause,
can't
again,
hit the wrong guy.
well planned revenge. Or you could have got their ass at a stoplight. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not familiar with too many of the details because we haven't talked about it in like a year. Or did we ever talk about it?
There was a high-speed chase, and he rolled up on him, and he fired into the car. So, also don't fire into a car occupied by a bunch of people. That's just not gonna.
Right.
That's
Right.
not
It's
gonna
gotta
end
be.
well.
It's gotta be a 1-for-1. You gotta find that person, and take your time. Guys, this is how you assassinate someone who molested your nephew.
So we
Let's go step by step in what you need to do.
You gotta be cold. You gotta be cold with it. This
Yeah,
guy, Kane Velasquez, went off too hot, and he
Yeah, you have
made
to
some
take a
stupid
deep.
mistakes.
You should have taken a deep breath and planned it out a little
You
better.
got to calculate.
Yes, yeah. Follow him for a while. Stalk him. You know.
Next email. Hi, Brian. Oh, see, he didn't include Rob. I'm still more popular than you.
It happens.
I'm Aldo from Naples in Italy. Okay, I recently found out about. I
What's up?
recently found. Right. Hey, how's it going? I recently found out about your podcast and I love it. Thank you. I don't know if you discussed it in previous episodes, but I would love to hear your thoughts on the evolution of stand-up comedy in non-English speaking countries. In Italy, it is starting to get mainstream, and obviously it was influenced by Americans, but also from previous Italian comedians, so it feels slightly different. Some of the comedians I know are getting shows in London, which is more used to your kind of comedy. Do you think that some of that influence can make all the way up to the States? Do you think that being an art form, stand-up is getting benefits from being mixed with different cultures, or it could get diluted and damaged? Also, did you ever meet someone from Italy or another non-English speaking country like France, Germany, or Spain and thought they were funny like your fellow Americans? Lots of love. Wish you well. Actually, I did meet two dudes from Italy. They were a band, and they were like pretty boy, fuck boys. They got a lot of girls.
Right.
It almost seemed like they were in love with each other, but I couldn't tell. You know what I mean? It was that kind of thing.
Right.
And they were funny. Yeah, they were funny. They were very talented musicians. They were like, I don't know if it was some kind of like foreign exchange thing, but they were like crashing with my neighbors,
Right.
and we shared a backyard. So it was, these motherfuckers would just be out there playing guitars to women they just met. That kind of shit.
Move. It's a good
but
move.
yeah.
You can pull it off.
It's a smooth move. And but yeah, do I think it's changing? No. First of all, I don't think anything outside of America could affect American comedy just because we're so cocky about it and protective about it. And comedy is so cultural.
Right.
And so as long as American culture is the dominant culture in the world, I don't see other cultures influencing America. Actually, I guess that's not necessarily true.
I mean, it could. At the end of the day, more people doing stand-up only strengthens it, right? Because it's an art form that benefits from different perspectives. So another perspective being introduced can make you think about your stuff differently. I think it definitely helps people. But I do feel like because the art form it started in America, it's been in America the longest. When I see comedy from other countries, or stand-up comedy, not comedy, because people can be funny and do comedy.
Right.
Stand-up specifically, which is very different than acting and all the other types of comedy. Whenever I see someone do stand-up from another country, it always feels just a little more basic. Like they're still on a different level of trying to figure things out.
I feel like the Brits are the closest, and they're not close.
No. Yes, that's how I feel. I feel like the Brits aren't even close.
Yeah, especially the cocky ones.
But I do say, growing up, I watched a lot of British stand-up, and it did, because of how simple it was. It really taught me how to do setup punch.
But I'm for it though, like because there are people. There's some hungry motherfuckers. There's motherfuckers out in Amsterdam and goddamn Naples, that And so I've gotten emails from people in Russia, and they're doing stand up. The only thing that bothers me, so look, to answer your question, I'm all for people trying stand up. I think it only helps the art form. But what I hate is because there's a lot of places where they're just getting stand up within their culture. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They're doing stand-up in Mandarin. They're doing stand-up in Mexico. They're doing stand-up in all these other places. And like I said, it's very cultural. But what you have to watch out for is you have some bilingual comics that will steal material because they know it's like they know I don't speak Mandarin. I don't speak French. So it.
France is big on that.
It'll be
a lot of French comics steal.
Yeah, and it'll be a long time before the originator of that material finds out that you're stealing it. Because you can literally get famous in another country from being hilarious because nobody knows that that you've been listening to Patrice O'Neal. You know what I mean? They think you revolution. Like that's the shit that I hate. I can't stand a motherfucking joke thief. So that's all I would say is, if you're getting into stand-up comedy and American comedy is your inspiration, it's like don't steal.
Yeah, don't do bits you've seen another comic do.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm talking about, listen, obviously every artist is inspired by other artists, but I'm talking about word for word, lifting bits from people, knowing damn well you ain't funny. Actually, somebody got caught doing that recently, right? It was like, wasn't it like a Mexican girl where she was like word for word stealing someone's
yeah, I mean, you hear it all the time. The one I know is there's a famous French comic who's huge in France, and he was just doing like Seinfeld's act.
Oh yeah,
for the longest time.
Yeah, and so some people are, and the thing is, I feel like in Mexico, that's the dumbest place for you to steal because there's so many people that speak both languages. It's so crazy for you to think you could get away with it. But it's like, and in fact, I think this girl made it all the way on TV. You know what I mean? She was like doing like their version of the Tonight Show, and that's the thing that somebody was like, "Hey, bitch, that's." So it's like, don't do that. I mean, listen, I understand the desire to be good at it, but it takes work, and you can't cheat. There's no shortcut.
No.
Yeah, you just gotta suffer through all the bombs and trial and error, and and some shit hitting flat, and because when that gold that's left over at the end, that's worth it. Don't steal from people.
Right. If you really want to contribute to stand-up, it is originality of thought that makes it grow.
Okay, one more.
What do you guys think about because Tom Segura does stand-up in Spanish too, and is it mostly his same English set?
Oh, I have no idea.
I mean, at a certain point, it can't be, right? Just because of language things.
Right,
There's no way it can be the same English set. But, that doesn't matter, because it's not like, I doubt he's in his Spanish set, he's doing Chris Rock's.
Oh, no, I don't mean that. But
he's saying, is it the same jokes as in English that he's doing?
Like, for instance, Eddie Izzard also does his set in French, and it's virtually identical except for there's a few things that are like word plays that don't work in French or whatever, but the structure and the jokes are 99%.
I'll say that I would imagine so, but I really have no idea. I mean, why wouldn't you do that though? Like I would do that.
I would say if I had to guess, it would probably be like 90% the same, and then 10% like the stuff you can only do in the language.
Yeah. So I would do it the same. I mean, why would you not? Man, that's 2 bags. Just double the bag. Why would you go through the work of creating a whole different original album when you? Nah, fuck that.
It's kind of similar to like if you watch anime, even if you watch like subs of anime, right? Like there are people who it's not just a 1-to-1 translation. Sometimes you have to do things that localize it rather than just literally translate it because they might make a joke about some person who's like super fucking famous in Japan, but we don't have any idea who they are. So like in the anime, they'll replace it with like Brad Pitt or something like that, just so the joke reads.
You can just get to be like, all your bases all belong to us. Yeah. All right. Next email. Hello, Brian. Just me.
Winning.
Fuck you, Rob.
Hey, your name is in the title.
Summary. Redskins fan asks opinion on rank of racist team name. What? It was interesting hearing your take, interpreting your perception of potentially racist symbols, namely the Confederate flag versus the swastika. I grew up in the DMV region, that's where I'm from, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, as a Redskins fan, but now the team's name and helmet image are considered racist by some people, although a Native American designed the helmet logo. Many people believe that anyone who still wears or has Redskins merchandise are unapologetically racist. I never knew I had so many Redskins mementos until I considered removing or replacing them. My man cave basement is populated with a lot of Redskins stuff gifted to me by friends and family, which include cups, mugs, caps, mini helmets, team pennants, novelty footballs, posters, neon team sign, etc. I guess it's a schlocky, I don't know what that means, racist museum now. In any case, I'm keeping it all. That doesn't include the shirts and hoodies I bought myself. In your opinion, where does your Redskins logo rank on your racist symbol scale and includes the Confederate flag and swastika, if it should be included at all? Thanks.
Schlocky just means cheap, tacky.
Okay, yeah. Look, I mean, obviously, it's pretty low, because the thing, the fact of the matter is, I remember when this controversy was fresh, like the last time there was like a major lawsuit, it was like 8-9 years ago, and I remember I used to do a bit about how like it was always like the white girls in college telling you you're racist and all that. Like, but you know what the Native Americans really want? They want you to leave.
Yeah, get off their land.
It's like, I mean, the fact of the matter is, some people were offended by it. They decided to change it, and like now I don't care. It's like it's whatever it is, it's fine. I just want them to stop being a shitty organization. Like I'm way more concerned about okay, so now you change the logo. Okay, stop raping the cheerleaders and
bench Carson Wentz.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Why is he starting in a potential playoff game? Get out of here.
Stop starting Carson Wentz in like real key situations. And especially when you got old boy sitting behind him that we didn't even know.
Oh, Sam Howell.
Yeah, you got Sam Howell on the business. Like you're like, you know what? Let's experiment and see what we got. Oh, we're not going to put in the potential future of the franchise. We're going to put this guy that we're definitely not keeping. Yeah. In a potential. Just
so he can throw 3 interceptions and lose to a rapist.
Yeah. Now in turn, should you get rid of all your Redskins stuff? I don't know. I don't think so. I have an autographed Sean Taylor jersey. Mm-hmm. I'm not getting rid of that. Yeah,
and it's like, the people who think you're unapologetically racist, I would venture to guess that they aren't sports fans, because it's deeper than that.
It is deeper than that.
It's so much deeper than that. The logo, as a non-Redskins fan, like I would look at someone giving away their Redskins stuff that they accumulated throughout the years as like, why are you doing that? Like to me, it's like, oh, this is time spent with my dad. This is time spent with my friends. This is like what I've talked about for years, and like it's a bonding thing. It's way more than just like some random logo.
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't have a bunch of Redskins stuff. I mean, I probably should, but I just mean you're talking about burning thousands of dollars worth of shit for so what? I mean, because the only people, I'll put it like this, the only people that's going to be in your man cave are people that don't care if you're racist anyway. You know what I mean? So, but to put it up there with the swastika, no.
No, not even close.
Or the, what was the other symbol? The Confederate flag? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I would say below Confederate flag.
Yeah, it's way.
I would say below Chief Wahoo for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Confederate flag is leaps and bounds below a swastika,
right?
And I think the old Redskins logo is way below a Confederate flag.
Well,
it's not way below because it's one of those things, because both of those things are in a gray area, right? Mm-hmm. Where it's like when you see one, it does not necessarily mean that person is racist, nor are they trying to convey to you that they are racist. Most of the time. Some people, though, that's what it means to them. Right. Some of those people are racist, and they're using your arguments to not. I mean, you might be racist. I don't know you. You know what I mean? But it's like some of the people are racist, but some of them are not. So and when you see somebody with a swastika, they're definitely racist.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's no doubt about it. And they're trying to tell you that.
And I would say the big difference is that the Confederate flag and swastika has inspired a group of men to come together and try to win. Whereas the Redskins logo for my lifetime has not been that. It's just been.
Okay, listen. I'm not here for the Redskins slander on my pod. Okay,
you're the Commanders now.
I mean, I'm aging myself for some, but before you was born, we were great. Yeah. In fact, 82,
pre-99.
That year, 82, that year I was born, we won the Super Bowl that year. and again in 87, and again in 92.
Yeah. You were one of the ones that beat the Bills.
Yeah, and you were born in what, 92?
92.
Yeah, okay, so that's maybe you were what month?
September. So right when
football season started.
Yeah.
Maybe you the reason we started losing.
Well, you won the year I was born, right? So I'm really the last bastion of hope.
No.
But they won before you were born.
Yeah, we won before you were born.
Did you win in the 92 season or did you win in the 91 season? The Super Bowl was 92.
No, right, the 91 season, the Super Bowl was in 92.
Okay. Then yeah, maybe I'm bad news for the Redskins.
Yeah.
But in my lifetime, I've never been scared of them as like this is a potential team. In my entire
don't do us like that. We were still pretty good we weren't the laughing stock that we are now.
No, you're not the laughing stock.
Until like the last.
But even when you had RG3, I wasn't like, this team's gonna make a deep run.
No, before RG3, I'm talking about when we had Clinton Portis, Sean Taylor, Fred Smoot, Samuels, we goddamn LeVar Arrington. We was loaded for a little while when Joe Gibbs came back. It was a little hope.
I mean, a little hope. I mean, maybe because like you remember Joe Gibbs and where he led you. But I would say as a neutral fan to the Redskins, I have never looked at them in my lifetime as like, that's a team that can make a deep run. Even when you guys were loaded.
Well, they haven't been that in quite some time.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Maybe there was a season or two, but we've just been since
Sean Taylor died. That really
before
fucked
that
your franchise up,
since
I think.
Daniel Schneider took over the team.
Well, there's that.
We've been aimless. We've never been. There's maybe been one or two seasons where we were pretty good, but since he bought the team, and I think that was in. What was that, 98?
99.
Yeah, 99. It doesn't help that your owner is like more interested in pimping out your cheerleaders than like making a functional team.
But Michael, keep your stuff. That's my answer.
You're not a bad person for keeping your stuff. There's so many memories attached to that like it's way beyond some simple imagery.
Okay, one more, and then I'm gonna move on from the emails. Oh, wait a minute. He said, "Hey, bro, do we know each other?" Let's do this one. Will Big Crow. Hey, bro, do we know each other? I know you as a stand-up comedian. I just watched you on Ari's podcast, and on the podcast you talked about being stationed at Yuma and going to Iraq. Well, I was both stationed at Yuma and deployed to Iraq. Just odd, and I hope you're doing well. Combat engineer. I don't think we know each other. I was not stationed in Yuma. I was stationed in Miramar. Yuma is just where our parent unit was. We were a detachment. I was down in Yuma a few times. I mean, I was in Max 1, but that doesn't mean we know each other. So, that.
Yeah, I feel like you would be like, yes, we do know each other if you didn't know each other.
Yeah,
that was a simple answer to that question.
I feel like I would hit it right off the bat.
Yeah.
All right. Dear Brian, it's Vince from San Diego.
Shout out Vince.
Shout out Vinny. Vinny is another comedian.
Very funny.
Very funny guy. It's Vince from San Diego. As a fellow Grand Admiral Thrawn fan, you got me right here.
Mm-hmm.
Who would you want to play a live-action version of him? My go-to is Christian Bale. That's exactly my go-to. Yeah, I was going to say Christian Bale. And if not Christian Bale, then who's budget Christian Bale?
I have budget Christian Bale.
Yeah, I mean, Christian Bale is perfect. I would say Johnny Depp could probably pull it off.
My problem is I have no idea who Grand Admiral Thrawn is. So
he's the greatest Star Wars villain ever conceived, and Disney refuses to put him in the
movies.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you about him another time because I could just go on and on.
The dude who voices him could actually be a great live-action Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Who?
Lars Mikkelsen. Mads Mikkelsen's brother.
Show me a picture of Lars. Image of Lars Mikkelsen.
Here we go.
That's Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, that is Jack Nicholson.
Okay. Oh, it thought I said. It thought I said large Nicholson. This speaks to the concept of racism in tech because they don't test anything with black people.
No, they have they have trouble with Indian voices. And it's like we made the shit.
Yeah, facial recognition and voice recognition are racist as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I can't tell you how many times I've like voice trained my Google shit. I let you spy on me. There's microphones in my room just listening.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Google thing on my nightstand that listens. There's my phone, my tablet, all my shit be listening. When are you gonna know what I'm fucking saying? I said Lars Mikkelsen. And and you brought me a large picture of Jack Nicholson. Why would you think that's what I wanted?
I feel like Large Nicholson would be a great rap name.
It would. That's going to be my rap name from now on. If I ever rap, I'm Large Nicholson. Don't let me forget it. All right. One more article, then we can get out of here.
Well, look up Lars Mikkelsen for real.
Okay. Lars Mikkelsen. Lawrence
Nicholson.
Okay, you know what? I'm just going to type it in, okay, before this pisses me the fuck off.
Lars, and then last name is Mikkelsen, like Mads Mikkelsen. Mikkelsen.
So it'll be a little easier.
Okay.
Oh, never mind. And now my phone decided to die on me.
Your phone's dead?
No. Okay, there it is. It just sometimes it goes on the fritz. Here we go. Lars Mikkelsen. Him.
Oh yeah. He could pull it off.
Depends on how good of an actor he is, because he has kind eyes.
He's
So it depends on how good of a facial actor.
And his brother played Hannibal, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Either one of them.
His brother could also do it too, but
Right.
Yeah, either one
Lars
of them could do
Mikkelsen
it.
has been voicing Grand Admiral Thrawn for a while now.
Lars?
Yeah, Lars is the voice of Grand Admiral Thrawn in is it Rebels that he's
So that
on?
Rebel Wars,
one of the
cartoon
animated.
shit?
Yeah, one of the animated ones,
Mhm.
which are pretty
Okay.
good.
Yeah. He has my vote. All right, one last little joint. Well, we got a lot of stuff here about AI. We use it, but I prefer to do the cheating one. Where's that?
There's one.
Oh, here it is. How to nab a cheater. So how to nab a cheater in a Chat GPT world?
Have you ever used ChatGPT?
I have not.
No, I have.
I'm smart.
I've seen it. I've seen it in articles, and I've seen apparently its user base is huge. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's all these fucking dummies getting through college cheating
Yeah.
that are now running society, and they stupid as fuck.
It might be to me. It might be one of the new things. Like, this is my first. Like, oh, I might be too old for this. Where I feel like an old man who doesn't really understand what's going on.
If you're not familiar, Chat GPT is an AI that can write a paper for you, and it sounds like a human being wrote it.
Right.
Right? And you have to have a very keen eye to spot the different. I think you would actually probably need another AI to tell you whether an AI wrote the paper.
Right.
Is that good? And so now college professors are stumped.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to me, bitch, like you gonna have to stop using papers as a way to grade people.
Yeah, or it seems like you're gonna have to find your papers will have to be an exam. Like, it happens in class.
Right.
You write what you know.
Yeah, because if the point is to find out what people know, why do you have to send them to write a paper? I don't understand. Like, why can't you just test them in class? Because that's the solution. Because what's happening now is someone just invented a way to scan a paper and see if it was written by an AI, but then.
Right.
But the AI is also evolving too, so it's just this arms race when you could just get rid of papers.
Right. Well,
Take away the opportunity to cheat. You have to. You're not going to win this battle.
No, not with AI. AI is winning, if not already won, and we don't know it yet.
Yeah.
the issue though is that you can't just get rid of essays completely, because sometimes an essay is not necessarily testing your ability to regurgitate facts. It's testing your ability to come up with a novel take or a novel perspective, and then to explain that perspective or formulate that hypothesis with supporting material, right?
Yeah, but you can do that. You can just do it the same way they do a thesis, where it's like, I bring you in and I question you on your thing, and because
Sure.
if it's really your perspective, you should be able to explain it, right?
Right.
Because there's no way to stop this.
Mm-hmm.
There's absolutely no way. No. And what you run the risk of is, like, imagine you have a doctor that's fresh out of college, and they've used this their whole way through college. They don't even understand. They don't even know where your organs are.
Right.
But they got a doctorate from, whatever the fuck. And it's like that's what scares me.
Yep.
I mean, even though, to be honest with you, most of the people I know that graduated from college aren't that smart. They a lot of them are fucking stupid.
Once you get to an adult age, you really truly understand how underqualified everyone is for everything.
Yeah.
It's like, everyone's just sort of flying by everyone's sort of winging it and figuring it out as we go along, and hopefully they kind of know what they're doing.
Yeah, I was like, I've only ever been in a class, like in every class I've ever been in, at most there's one or two people that that have their shit together. Where you're like, oh, that person.
Right, that person meant to do this. What scares me a lot about like doctors is like coming from like an Indian family, like a brown family, is that you see like how much of the kids don't really care about being doctors and they still become one, or how much go like, oh, they can't make it into an American med school. Well, we'll go to a med school in the Caribbean where it's the standards are easier. Get our doctorate there, come here, do our residency. You know what I mean? It's like the many ways around like. The amount of people who are doing that, who are brown, that don't want to be doing that, actually like genuinely freaks me out.
Oh wow!
It's
but
like a lot of
they don't have a choice.
They don't have a choice, or they think they don't have a choice. It's an illusion that they don't have a choice. I'm sitting here right now.
Right.
That's true. That's true.
You know what I mean? And now, don't get me wrong. Some of them, like my sister, I think genuinely wants to be a doctor. So it's like I get that.
Okay.
But like, and there's a lot of people that genuinely do want to be a doctor. But some people, it's like, oh, this is forced, and I don't know. You ever see Jim Carrey's commencement speech years ago? It's on YouTube. It's great, and it stuck with me. But what stuck with me most, because I saw it in college when I was considering whether or not to do comedy or like keep going down the path I was going. He goes, you can fail at the safe thing. Like the safe thing you choose, you can still fail at. So why not do the thing you want to do? And yeah, that's the straight bar, and that stuck with me forever. And that's just, I see it in so many of the kids my age, or like they're not kids anymore, adults my age, where it's like, oh, some of you are just gonna be deeply unhappy. And that's going to be your life.
Yeah, fuck that.
And then you're going to force this deep unhappiness on your kid. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's
so sad.
It's a cycle. It's a vicious cycle.
But you know what? You won't be broke.
You won't be broke.
You won't be broke.
You won't be broke. But you know what you told me a long time ago that also stuck with me? You told me this. Money can't buy peace of mind.
That's absolutely true.
You won't be like you'll be fine. You won't be struggling for food, which is a huge win, in a shelter, which is a huge win. Don't get me wrong. Like you can take that. But the never being happy and content with yourself, that sounds unbelievably miserable and painful and lonely in a way that like
is that I want to die.
Yeah, I have everything. I have the house, I have the car. I can give my kids whatever they want, and I'm still deeply, deeply, deeply unhappy. That sounds horrifying.
Yeah, you can follow your dreams and still
I still have mad respect though for people who that is their dream, right? It's like financial stability, and like they're like, look, I'm a pharmacist. I clock in, I clock out. I go home, I play Xbox, and everything's good. Like, I gotta respect that.
Yeah, I respect that. No,
I respect that too. Yeah.
If you're happy with your life decision, there's nothing to not respect. You know what I mean? Like you're living life how you want to live it. Yeah. I'm talking about the people I see that are just sort of like, I got to do it because that's what I'm told, and they're running the script.
But I know some people where their dream is to be deeply unhappy. Like they aspire to it every day, and this is not about my ex. But some people that's their shit, is being unhappy. They just love being sad.
Oh, I heard this moment of brilliance at an open mic, just some random I forgot who, but it said self-pity is the most dangerous drug.
Ooh.
Well, I think that might have been me.
Maybe it might have been you, but it sounds like a very Brian Simpson thing. But self-pity is a dangerous drug.
It's addictive.
Oh man, feeling bad about yourself feels so good.
It does. It can.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's not my fault. The world is against me. And look at me. I'm this lone ranger that the world is trying to keep down.
Why me, Lord?
Yeah. You've singled me out. Yeah. It makes you feel special that the world is fucking you specifically.
Well, it's weird to live your life passively, like as though life is happening to you and not because of you. Like, like you have no agency or input into it all. Mm-hmm. That's where you fuck up at. Yeah, sure, fucked up shit happens, and some shit ain't your fault, and some shit ain't fair. But you have to take the power you do have and the control you do have
and exert it
over your because that and it took me a long time to learn that, but that's where you go. We learn life lessons here on BS with Brian Simpson. Listen, again, don't forget to follow us on all socials, BS Comedian,
Ehsan Ahmad on Instagram.
Ehsan Ahmad. Find tickets to the tour on BrianSimpsonComedy.com. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you want advice from the advice champ, email me at bswithbriansimpson@gmail.com. Don't forget to, Rob, what you got to plug?
Apocalypse Soon with Eddie Pepitone and Kevin Tinkin, and then also Josh Potter Show, both every week.
Thank
ComedyFrequency.com.
And we'll see y'all at the next episode. Thanks.
Thanks for having me.